Imagine standing in Rome, over 1500 years ago. The streets are still lined with marble columns, but the air carries a sense of unease. Soldiers patrol the walls, weary and poorly supplied. Merchants struggle to sell their goods, while rumors of invaders spread through the city like wildfire. Most people today think of Rome as a powerful empire that lasted forever, a city of endless wealth, magnificent temples, and unstoppable legions. But the truth is far more dramatic and far more human. The fall of the Roman Empire was not a single event or a single battle, it was a slow unraveling, a combination of political corruption, economic collapse, military struggles, and social decay. Welcome to Echoes of Times, where we uncover history's hidden stories. Today, we're exploring the rise and fall of Rome's ultimate empire and how its echoes still shape the modern world. But before we get started, hit the like button and subscribe so you never miss the fascinating secrets history has to offer. The Roman Empire was once the greatest power the world had ever seen. Its armies conquered vast territories from Britain to North Africa, from Spain to the Middle East. Roman roads connected the empire, allowing trade, communication, and the movement of soldiers. Its laws shaped civilization. Its culture influenced art, architecture, and governance across continents. But empires, no matter how strong, are fragile when stretched too thin. By the 3rd century AD, Rome began to face problems it could not easily solve. Political instability became rampant. Emperors were often assassinated or overthrown. Civil wars erupted repeatedly, weakening the very heart of the empire. Leadership, once a source of stability, became a tool for personal gain and power struggles, leaving the empire vulnerable to enemies both inside and outside its borders. Economic decline was equally devastating. Heavy taxation, inflation, and over-reliance on slave labor created a fragile economy. Farms could no longer feed the population, and trade networks began to collapse under the weight of invasions and piracy. Gold and silver became scarce, and the once thriving markets of Rome and its provinces began to falter. Cities shrank, unemployment rose, and desperation grew among ordinary people. The empire that had once controlled vast wealth was now struggling to maintain even the basics of survival. Meanwhile, the military, once the pride of Rome, faced challenges it had never seen before. The legions were overstretched, defending borders that spanned thousands of miles. Soldiers were often mercenaries or recruited from barbarian tribes who had little loyalty to the empire. Battles were fought, not with the discipline of centuries past, but with fragmented forces, often plagued by internal betrayals and lack of coordination. Invading tribes, including the Visigoths, Vandals, and Huns, exploited these weaknesses. Rome had faced enemies before, but never on such a massive scale, and never while simultaneously battling internal decay. One of the most famous events marking the empire's fall occurred in 410 AD, when the Visigoths, led by Alaric, sacked Rome. The unthinkable had happened. The Eternal City, center of the known world, fell to foreign invaders. For centuries, Rome had been considered invincible, a symbol of civilization itself. And yet here it was, looted and burned. Temples were destroyed, homes ransacked, and treasures stolen. The psychological impact was immense, not just for Rome, but for the world watching. The fall of the city symbolized a new era, the end of ancient Roman power and the beginning of the Middle Ages. But the empire did not disappear overnight. In the West, Rome became a shadow of its former self. The Western Roman Empire struggled to maintain authority over fragmented territories, while local leaders, warlords, and barbarian kings carved out their own domains. Italy, Gaul, Spain, and North Africa were no longer under central control. The Western Empire officially ended in 476 AD, when the last emperor, Romulus Augustulus, was deposed by the Germanic chieftain Odoacer. Yet the Byzantine Empire continued to survive for nearly 1,000 more years, preserving Roman law, culture, and the idea of an empire, even as the West fell into feudalism and chaos. Religion played a transformative role during this period. Christianity, once persecuted, had become the empire's official faith under Constantine the Great. The church became a stabilizing force in a crumbling world, providing structure, education, and moral guidance. Bishops and popes wielded influence that rivaled emperors. Monasteries preserved knowledge, copied manuscripts, and ensured that the achievements of Rome and Greece were not lost forever. Even as political power declined, Rome's ideas survived through faith, law, and education. The social and cultural fabric of the empire also changed. Class divides widened as the elite hoarded wealth, while ordinary people struggled. Urban populations shrank as cities fell into decline. Meanwhile, rural life became harsh, with peasants working lands controlled by local lords or invading tribes. Trade networks were disrupted, and luxury goods became rare. Yet even amidst hardship, innovation continued. Art, architecture, and scholarship flourished in pockets, particularly in the East, where Constantinople remained a cultural and economic powerhouse. The fall of Rome also reminds us how empires are never just about armies or borders. They are about ideas, institutions, and the ability to adapt. Rome's legal system, for example, became a foundation for European law for centuries. Roman roads, aqueducts, and cities influenced medieval urban planning. Even the concept of citizenship, governance, and civic duty survived long after the Western Empire fell. The legacy of Rome is not measured only in conquered lands, but in the enduring impact of its culture, law, and philosophy on the modern world. Stories from the fall of Rome are filled with both tragedy and resilience. Ordinary people adapted to new rulers, cultures, and circumstances. Some fled to safer lands, others integrated with new societies. Merchants found ways to continue trade despite chaos. Scholars preserved knowledge, ensuring future generations could learn from the past. Through it all, the idea of Rome, its grandeur, and its achievements continued to inspire. The fall was not the end of Roman influence, it was the beginning of its transformation. The Western Roman Empire may have fallen, but the Eastern Roman Empire survived as the Byzantine Empire. Its capital, Constantinople, became a fortress of civilization. Byzantine emperors like Justinian I attempted to restore the glory of old Rome, codifying Roman law in the famous Justinian Code and rebuilding monumental structures like Hagia Sophia. The Byzantine Empire preserved Roman culture, administration, and military traditions, keeping the memory and influence of Rome alive for centuries to come. The fall of the Roman Empire teaches a timeless lesson. No empire, no matter how mighty, lasts forever. Power is fragile, dependent on leadership, economy, military strength, and social cohesion. Yet, even in collapse, the ideas and influence of Rome persisted. Modern governments, legal systems, architecture, religion, and even languages are shaped by its legacy. Echoes of Times brings these lessons to life, showing that history is never just about dates and battles. It is about the choices, resilience, and legacy of civilizations. As we look back at Rome's fall, it becomes clear that its story is more than a tale of destruction. It is a story of transformation, adaptation, and endurance. From the sacked streets of Rome in the west to the thriving capital of Constantinople in the east, the empire evolved, survived in new forms, and continued to shape the world. Understanding this period helps us see not just how empires fall, but how their legacies continue to influence the world for generations. If you've enjoyed this deep dive into the fall of the Roman Empire, leave a comment below sharing your thoughts. Which moment of Rome's decline fascinates you the most? The sack of Rome, the final emperor, or the survival of the Byzantine Empire? Don't forget to share this video with friends who love history as much as you do. Every like, comment, and share helps Echoes of Times continue bringing the hidden stories of the past to life. History may be in the past, but its echoes are still very much alive.